Well, hey guys, I'm Nick and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the sneak peek scene for Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Episode 4, Among the Lotus Eaters. This is our Star Trek Strange New Worlds episode where we go and revisit the Kalar. No, not that Kalar. This Kalar, the group that Pike and the Enterprise crew had a run-in with 2 weeks, I think it was, before the events of the Cage, when the Telosians wanted to experience in his mind. They recreated this event that had happened 2 weeks prior, where there'd been a massive issue with them in whether it was a first contact situation or just a sort of a toxic meeting where things went terribly badly and Spock was terribly injured and crew members died and everything because this group of sort of barbarian-esque characters decided to kill half the away team. So it seems like Pike and crew are going back for a bit of maybe a bit of payback. I'm not sure, but nonetheless, it will be interesting to see how they approach this race. We only saw very, very briefly in the Cage original pilot episode. So today we not only have one but two sneak peek scenes to have a look at. We've got the new one that's just come out, and we've also got another sneak peek scene which came out a little while ago, but I didn't sort of cover it in too much detail when it first came out. So we're going to have a look at that again and see what we're in for in this fourth episode of Season 2 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Let's take a look.
It's not just the garden. They put the Delta on the entryway.
We need to speak to Kalar, who live outside the palace. They're more likely to talk to us. Maybe they can tell us what it means to them.
And if that fails, we blend in as servants, infiltrate the castle.
You all right?
It's nothing, just headache. Probably need to eat something.
So it appears like the Kalar of Rigel 7 have in some fashion adopted the Starfleet Delta as a logo. Now, whether this means they're pretending to be Starfleet or they've... it looks like there's a scratch through the middle of it or something to that effect. So I wonder whether they've put it up outside their castle and in the garden to basically say, piss off Starfleet, we don't want you here, and they've sort of done a cross-through on the Starfleet Delta. It could be what they're saying, seeing as how they had a quite a negative run-in with Starfleet in the past. And strange that Lana's feeling a little bit under the weather in this episode as well. I wonder whether this has anything to do with her time travel exploits in the previous episode, where she's sort of, I don't know, maybe having difficulty adjusting to having come back through the timeline and timeline change issues or something, perhaps.
Oran Ben was right. Maybe we lay low tonight, make for the shuttle at dawn.
No, Captain, you need to see this.
Interesting. So it seems like the Kalar, who are a pre-warp civilization who pretty much just use swords and shields and, medieval sort of style level of technology, now have phaser rifles. So I wonder whether there's been a situation where, I don't know, they've wiped out a Starfleet crew that's come to visit them or something since Pike's journey, and they've now armed themselves with 23rd century technology in the form of some phaser rifles.
Spock was bleeding out when I ordered the evac. We fought our way back to the landing zone. I wasn't exactly tracking gear at that point.
Captain? Captain, we've got company.
3 on 6, we've got this.
Let's try diplomacy first.
So it seems like that Pike is taking responsibility for these Kalar being armed up. When obviously Spock was badly injured, they had to drag him back to the landing zone, and Pike says he wasn't exactly tracking gear. In other words, it seems like in getting the away team out of there as quickly as possible after we've had crewmen killed and severely injured members of the away team, that they've left a few phaser rifles behind in their previous skirmish with the Kalar.
Greetings. My friends and I have traveled far from the north. We apologize if we're trespassing. We mean no disrespect.
We know you come from Starfleet.
So it definitely seems like this episode is going to address what happens to a civilization when you arm a bunch of people who are essentially medieval level technology with highly futuristic weapons in the form of phaser rifles. Because the Kalar seemed like they were a sort of a very formidable kind of warrior type race, based on what we'd seen before, like sort of, barbarians, sort of, Genghis Khan sort of type style level of technology, I guess. But put 23rd century phaser rifles in their hands, and this could be a bit of an issue. Seems like they've definitely been putting Mbenga into a hand-to-hand combat situation quite regularly. And every episode we've had so far has seemed to got Babs dragging out his jiu-jitsu moves or whatever in the latest episode. So it seems like he's going to be doing the same thing again this week. Okay, so now we've got the second sneak peek scene to have a look at, which shows what I'm guessing is probably the beginning of the episode, where we get Ortegas thinking she's joining the away team to go on this mission, but she's not. Pike's got other plans for her. Let's take a look at that scene.
Pilot's personal log, stardate 1630.3. I'm Lieutenant Erica Ortegas. Most of the time, I fly the ship, which is cool, but can get boring. Today is different. Rigel 7's atmosphere is a hot mess of wind shear, exotic radiation, and heavy particles that jam the sensors on our shuttles. Piloting down takes incredible skill, which I have, but the best part? I'm with the landing party. Something I almost never get to do. Nice.
I like Ortegas. She's a good character. I think she's got a nice sassy way about her. She can come out with some nice lines of humour from time to time, but she's also pretty good at her job. And I think maybe in this instance, she's a little bit too good at her job, because even though she doesn't get to go on away missions particularly often, her incredible prowess at piloting starships means that she is particularly valued in that role, which we're about to find out.
You're actually wearing the hat.
Are you kidding? The hat is supreme. We're Kalarans now. Recon 101.
The Stakor debris field we observed previously is descending. By my calculations, it will intersect multiple points along the ship's intended orbital plane.
Debris from what?
Likely an impact between two large celestial bodies that orbited Rigel 7 several centuries ago.
Can't you just say 2 moons?
I could, but that would be leaping to a conclusion.
It looks like Spock is kind of back to his old Spocky self. In the last couple of episodes, he's been a little bit more of an emotional Spock, but this little scene here kind of shows that Spock is behaving, in this episode at least, a little bit more like we kind of remember him, even though in the past couple of episodes they might have kind of skewed his emotional side a little bit more than we usually tend to see. And some good banter here between Ortegas and Latta as well. I think there's a nice camaraderie going on between our crew members.
Analysis is underway, but I would merely characterize the fragments as volatile.
We get it, Spock.
All right, well, on we go. Let's get to that shuttle bay and have ourselves a landing party.
Maintaining stability will require piloting Enterprise by hand.
Between the fragments and the gravity shifts, I'll have to make manual adjustments every 20 minutes. Or lights out Enterprise.
I'm glad you get it. We need you here keeping Enterprise safe.
Hi, Captain.
Poor Ortegas. She was so looking forward to going on the away mission. It was, you can see the disappointment on her face, where she just wanted to get off the ship for a bit of fun, a bit of something different rather than just sitting at a console all the time. Doesn't seem like it's going to be on this particular occasion. Poor Erica. She's gutted.
But who's gonna fly the shuttle through all that choppy sky and radiation?
I may not be Eric Ortegas, but I was a test pilot, remember? We'll get you next time, I promise.
It looks like we're going to be seeing a bit of Pike's prowess behind the controls of a shuttle. It doesn't sound like it's going to be a smooth ride getting down to this planet. It seems like there's going to be certainly some turbulence and some issues to kind of contend with. But as Pike mentioned, he used to be a test pilot, so he's no slouch behind the controls of a shuttlecraft, I'm sure, and will no doubt steer them safely to the ground on the planet, as we know he does, because we've obviously seen that last sneak peek scene which shows them on the planet's surface. So we know things are going to be going okay.
I was not responsible for the data. It would be illogical to blame.
Just learn when to leave people alone, Spock.
Sorry. I'm working on that.
So we get Spock learning a bit of a lesson about social interactions. Poor old Erica doesn't get to wear her hat. Looks like a cosy hat too. Looks like it would be a nice warm hat in a cold, snowy environment. So I think the others might be regretting they didn't bring the hat, because the hat kind of looks like it would be quite cozy. Not to mention the hat hides the sort of, I guess, somewhat questionable haircut that Erica has chosen. Can't say I'm a huge fan of the haircut, but I totally love the character. So guys, let me know what you thought about these 2 sneak peek scenes, the one with Pike and Lan and Benga with the away team on the planet, and also our little scene at the start there with obviously Ortegas not necessarily getting to go on the away mission as she thought she might be. Leave your thoughts in the comment section, guys, and we'll get chatting about that. Please, also, if you haven't subscribed to Sci-Finatics yet, please don't be shy to do so. Click on that big subscribe button to stay current and up to date with the latest Star Trek news on YouTube. Also, check out my merch in the merch store. Plenty of Star Trek themed hoodies, mugs, t-shirts, caps, stickers, all there. Great bargain prices. Pick something up, get a present for yourself, and help support the channel at the same time. I'll be back really soon with the next video. I'll catch you guys soon.